Welcome, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're stepping into some really unsettling territory. We're talking about Randonautica. You might have heard of it. It's that app designed to, send you on random explorations. But for quite a few people, it's become this gateway to the unexpected, sometimes the unexplained, and often, the truly disturbing. So if you're not familiar, Randonautica basically uses a random number generator. It creates coordinates near you, kind of pushing you to explore spots you wouldn't normally go to, see what the universe throws your way, I guess. It got really popular during the lockdowns, right? People started documenting their finds online, but what started as kind of a fun novelty thing, well, it often spiraled into genuinely creepy encounters. And sometimes, even terrifyingly, led people straight to, actual crime scenes. So for this deep dive, we've gathered accounts, some from viewer submissions, others from documented online footage. These are stories that really make you question randomness, and what might be lurking just a few coordinates away. So get ready. These stories, they're meant to be scary, maybe a bit exciting too. Make you ponder the really strange paths Randonautica can lead you down. Okay, so our first account. This comes from a viewer, David. This was back in August 2020. Like a lot of people, he was bored during lockdown. He and a friend decided, okay, let's try Randonautica. They generated 4 anomalies. That's what the app calls them. Points of interest with a supposed quantum signature, like an energy blip worth checking out.
Right, it's the app's way of flagging something potentially unusual, not just random noise.
Exactly. So the first 3 spots, duds, nothing there. But the 4th one, it had like a 470-meter radius, looked promising. They drove down this quiet street, then turned onto a small, kind of unassuming path. And as they walked, they found something just bizarre. A note, impaled on a stick. The front just read, "Write down your cell phone number."
Straight to the point.
Yeah, right? So David, intrigued, unfolds it. The message inside gets even weirder. It says, "I can give you a cell phone number or even an email address. Give me your mail ad address and I will send you it."
Send you what, though? That's deliberately vague.
Totally unclear what it is. So David, maybe not the best idea, but he writes his number down, puts the note back on the stick. But then right next to the note, get this, multiple bras, like at least 6 of them, just lined up on a fallen tree branch. No explanation at all.
Bras. That's uniquely strange. Adds a weird layer.
Right. And it wasn't just that. They also found 2 packages of condoms nearby. And a pot looked like it had been used for a fire. Now, when you hear about this collection of items, the note, the bras, condoms, what does that suggest? It feels less random, more like staged.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of specific, unusual combination points away from random dumping. It feels like deliberate staging, almost like a psychological setup.
Yeah.
The weird items like the bras could even be misdirection, drawing focus, while the real goal is getting that personal info from the note. It shifts it from just weird stuff found to potentially premeditated, exploiting curiosity,
And here's another eerie detail David pointed out. It hadn't rained for 3 days. These items, they seemed pretty recent. But the paper note, no signs of water damage at all, exposed like that.
That's significant. It implies it was placed very recently, maybe right before they arrived, or protected somehow. Either way, it really undercuts the idea of it being just random chance. It feels very intentional.
So the next day, August 7th, David goes back. The note, the one with his number, gone.
Okay, that's unsettling.
It gets worse. A few days later, he gets a text, unknown number. Just says, "Hi." David texts back, "Who is this?" The reply, just David's own home address.
Wow. That's terrifying. A massive violation.
He blocked the number immediately, obviously. But talk about a gut punch, right? That random exploration suddenly becoming so personal, so threatening.
It really is. David's experience hits on that idea of patternicity, how we look for patterns in randomness. Randonautica taps into that. But here, it seems like some pattern got a very real, very scary push from someone or something else. It goes from a quirky anomaly hunt to a genuine threat. Shows how vulnerable you can be when you're actively seeking the unknown, doesn't it? The anonymity just vanished.
Yeah, truly chilling. Okay, so if David's story was about that personal space invasion, our next one, it goes deeper, more psychological. This is from Taylor Vasquez. She got into Randonautica through TikTok, like many did, downloaded the app, generated a location. It was about 1.5 miles from her house. Led her to this abandoned creek area. At first, nothing seemed too weird, just an abandoned creek, until she started finding these drawings, really disturbing drawings, looked like they were done by a child. One said something like, "It's your birthday with the snowman." Others just said, "Play with me."
Oh, that combination is instantly creepy. Childlike innocence mixed with something unsettling.
Exactly. The style was innocent, but the messages, very eerie, created this immediate sense of dread. And then, while she's looking at these drawings, filming them, she suddenly hears it. A young child's voice, clear as day, saying, "Play with me." And the video just cuts right there, leaves you hanging with that sound.
Psychologically, that's incredibly potent. A child's voice in a desolate place, connected to those creepy drawings, it triggers a very primal fear. Children mean vulnerability, innocence. Subverting that into a threat is deeply disturbing, creates cognitive dissonance. It hits harder.
Well, she must have had some serious nerve or just morbid curiosity because she went back. Later date, same creek, this time, new drawings, even creepier than the first ones. And one wasn't just a creepy kid's drawing. She described it as looking like a sigil of Baphomet.
Okay, that's a significant escalation. From unsettling child's play to occult symbolism.
Big leap, right? Suggests something much darker going on. So she's distracted by these new, really disturbing drawings, and she hears it again, the child's voice, faintly in the background. Apparently, she didn't notice it at first on the recording, but once she heard it play back, immediate reaction, she just bolts. Video cuts again, just her running, terrified.
That delayed reaction makes it even creepier somehow. The threat was there, unnoticed for a moment.
But wait, it gets even more disturbing. After she posted the video on TikTok, someone watching pointed something out. In the footage, behind a tree, what looks like the face of a young child, peeking out. Taylor swore she was completely alone. No one else was there.
Wow. Okay, so now you have visual evidence, however ambiguous, layered onto the auditory experience. Whether it's pareidolia, seeing faces and patterns, or something genuinely inexplicable, the effect is profound. Especially when primed for fear like she was. It blurs that line between perception and reality, making the whole thing feel terrifyingly real.
She made a few more trips, believe it or not. Found a journal filled with more unsettling messages. And on her final visit, a Ouija board made of cardboard with a big knife lying right next to it.
Okay, Ouija board and a knife. That's definitely time to stop going back.
Yeah, she never returned after that. The videos eventually got taken down, so proving it all now is tricky. But viewers felt things like, the weathered look of the drawings and that face in the video. It just felt disturbingly real.
Taylor's whole experience really highlights that psychological impact, doesn't it? How the line between what's real and what's just unsettlingly weird can completely blur. You mix disturbing images, strange sounds, the suggestion of being watched. The mind struggles to process it. It leaves a really deep, lasting feeling of unease. Changes how you see things.
Absolutely. Okay, moving from that psychological dread to something much more visceral. Tangible horror. This next story comes from a viewer, Davy S. It takes place in rural Alabama. She and her roommate, Ash, they got inspired by a viral Randonautica video. We'll actually cover that one last. They wanted to make their own spooky discovery, so they roped in two friends, Misa and Beck. They set their intention in the app as spooky, and Randonautica gives them a spot just 3 streets away on this long, dark road called Owl's Hollow Road near Lookout Mountain. For context, this is happening around 1 a.m. Pitch black. Driving down the road, it's just darkness, dense trees everywhere, no streetlights at all, super isolated. They pull over near this trail heading into the woods, and it's just really dark, really ominous looking.
Already setting a very creepy scene. Middle of the night, isolated road, dark trail.
Yeah, the atmosphere was thick. All 4 of them immediately felt uneasy, like really apprehensive. Even inside the locked car, they got that feeling of being watched. Vulnerable. They only had a dying phone for light and like a small switchblade, not exactly equipped for whatever. So they decided, nope, let's get out of here. Too creepy. But as Davy is doing a 3-point turn on this narrow road to leave, she glances in the rearview mirror. And standing there, right at the entrance to the trail, they just pulled away from what looked like a hooded male figure.
Oh, wow. Just standing there, watching.
Exactly. She didn't say anything to her friends, just hit the gas harder, wanted out of there fast.
It's pure fight or flight. Seeing an unexplained figure after feeling watched, it escalates the fear instantly. Primal survival instinct kicking in.
Totally. So the next morning arrives. Daylight. Beck had gone home, Ash was at work, but Misa stayed with Davy. They talked about it, felt a bit braver in the daytime, decided to go back to the trail, armed with keys, a phone, a pocket knife this time. Davy and Misa head back. The trail goes uphill, leads to this clearing, and Davy called it a dump site, just littered with junk. Old tires, fast food, trash, household garbage, grim scene. But then amidst the trash, they see something truly disturbing. Mattresses. Not just discarded mattresses. These were made beds, like with pillows, blankets, sheets, all set up.
Made beds. Out there in a dump site.
Yeah. Incredibly unsettling, just wrong, defied any logical explanation.
That creates such intense cognitive dissonance. Beds mean safety, home. Finding them staged like that in a desolate, dirty place, it's deeply disturbing. It screams deliberate human action, something sinister, twisting the familiar into the creepy. Suggests someone uses that space in a very unsettling way.
Exactly. So they're freaked out, hurrying back down the trail, and Misa stops, points into the woods. There's a small ditch they hadn't noticed on the way up, and in it, a red cooler.
A cooler they didn't see going up.
Right. So they step into the ditch to get a closer look and immediately just bam, hit by this awful smell. Something rotting. Then they see it, a few meters away, a dead cat carcass.
Okay, this is escalating quickly.
Yeah.
Rotting smell, dead animal.
Davy, smartly, grabs a big stick, doesn't want to touch anything. She uses the stick to try and tilt the cooler upright. It's heavy. And they hear something inside, like sloshing around, like it was full of melted ice or something. She manages to use the stick to pry the lid open just a crack, and this gust of hot, moist, putrid air just blasts out, right in her face. Immediately, bugs, maggots start pouring out. The smell is horrific, overpowers even the dead cat.
Oh no, this sounds bad, really bad.
She opens it a little more with the stick and sees, she described it as a wad of wet, matted black hair.
Black hair, inside the rotting cooler.
Yeah, she just screamed, yelled at Misa, "Get in the car, now."
I don't blame her. That's
right.
Finding something like that is traumatizing.
They scrambled back to the car, sped off. Misa's frantically asking, "What was in it? What did you see?" But Davy said she was just paralyzed. Fear, nausea, couldn't even speak.
That transition from psychological fear being watched to this tangible, gruesome, horrifying discovery.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. And then having that persistent, menacing presence, the figure linking it all, it blurs randomness with something targeted, malevolent, a complete sensory horror show.
And get this, they have to do another tight three-point turn to get out of there. Means passing the trail one last time. As they do, Davy notices new pieces of wood laid across the road, stuff that wasn't there before. And she looks into the woods, sees the same hooded male figure still there.
He's still there. And put wood in the road. That's actively menacing.
She just drove right over the wood, heard her bumper crack, didn't care, sped home. After that, Davy deleted Randonautica, never used it again, understandably. They did go back once just to get footage of the trail entrance, but that was it. Just an absolutely terrifying ordeal. Okay, so remember I mentioned Davy and her friends were inspired by a viral video. This last story is that video. It was on TikTok, filmed by a couple of users at Alki Beach in West Seattle. Randonautica led them to this rock break wall below a jetty, and there, washed up on the rocks, they find a black suitcase.
Another Randonautica find involving something washed ashore seems to be a recurring theme sometimes.
Yeah, and as they got closer, immediate red flag, a really foul smell coming from the suitcase.
Oh no, not again. That smell usually means one thing.
They knew something was seriously wrong. It hinted at something far worse than just lost luggage.
That intersection is just chilling, isn't it? An app sending you randomly and you stumble onto potentially something horrific.
Yeah.
Technology, chance, and real-world darkness colliding. It really underscores how random exploration can accidentally intersect with the absolute worst parts of human behavior, turns curiosity into a brush with real horror.
The teens did the right thing. They called the police immediately, but apparently Seattle police response times can be really slow. It took like 3 or 4 hours for officers to get there. By that point, the tide had come in, washed the suitcase away.
Oh, complicate things massively. Evidence potentially lost or moved.
Exactly. They needed a scuba team to go in and retrieve it and find out what was inside. The horrifying truth. Mm-hmm. The suitcase contained a black garbage bag. Inside were the dismembered remains of a couple. Jessica Lewis, 35, and Austin Wenner, 27.
Oh my God. A double homicide. Found via Randonautica.
Yeah. The investigation revealed their murderer was actually their landlord, Michael Dudley. They'd apparently argued with him over rent. Neighbors reported hearing a man screaming, "Please don't do this, just let me leave," then gunshots. About 10 days before the teens found the suitcase.
Just horrific.
Yeah.
A domestic dispute ending in such brutality, discovered by chance through an app.
The TikTok videos the teens made were eventually taken down. But it's such a stark, chilling reminder. This app, designed for just random fun, exploring, it can, purely by chance, lead users right into the middle of real-world tragedies. Actual, crime scenes. So we've heard some really intense accounts today, haven't we? From the just plain bizarre and unexplained, like David's note in bras, to the psychologically terrifying, like Taylor's Creek, to the absolutely visceral horror Davy experienced, and finally, the truly tragic discovery at Alki Beach. It really shows how Randonautica, this tool for random exploration, sometimes just, leads people to places far more disturbing than anyone expects. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What hidden things, what horrors might be lying just a few coordinates away, right in your neighborhood maybe? It's a provocative thought. And look, if these tales sent a chill down your spine, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Horror Docs will have more chilling stories for you. Until next time, stay curious out there. But maybe more importantly, stay safe.